to go ahead and introduce myself. Hello everybody, my name is Kai. I'm a professional cosplayer. I'm Denver local. I've been a professional cosplayer for 4 years almost. And Starfest invited me out to do 4 panels, help judge their cosplay contest and run the selfie contest. And this panel is called Cosplay Photography, How Not to Break Your Legs. I'm going to walk you guys through posing from a fine arts perspective. I'm paid way too much money for a degree that I've never used except in this panel. I'm going to have time for questions and answers at the end, and I am also going to host a pose off. So at the end of this panel, I'm going to call up people, and you guys are going to help me out. The ones who don't come up are going to shout out a type of pose, and then the person is going to pose in that pose, and the best poser wins. Yeah, the best poser wins a cosplay survival kit. One of my cosplay survival kits is the first prize, and there's room to sit down up here if you guys want to go ahead and squish forward, and there's room over here as well. So the second place prize is my Lolita collection of prints. That's 4 prints for everybody. And the first place prize is, go ahead, go. The first place prize, or the third place prize is going to be a picture of my Grand Duchess Anastasia, who I will be wearing tomorrow as well. So you can find me and get the pictures and stuff. Thank you. My lanyard is here.
If anyone wants it.
Yep, there's a seat up here.
There's 2.
There's lots of seats, it's all good. Did you get it? Is it working?
Well, I have it upside down.
Now you gotta do the down
Actually,
to
the
up
upside
thing.
down, I think you can probably
Try yelling
fix
at
it
it.
on the monitor here.
So after this gets up here, I'm gonna talk a little bit more, and then we're gonna get right into it.
Sorry, I'm working on it.
Why didn't you turn the light on?
I think we're good, because I think now we can flip it on the other side.
Have the technology.
It is a
Everything's
little,
upside down.
it is a little lopsided here. Sorry.
Well, the upside down is more important.
Well, I know, I think
I'm more impressed that I got it upside down.
The moment when you find the weird settings on the computer.
So before we get started, while we're working out the technical difficulties, if anybody has any questions for me or wants to know anything, this would be a good time to get in a few of those questions while we still have some time. Anybody? Doesn't have to be about this panel, doesn't have to be about me. You can ask me about the state of the world economy. I may not be able to give you an accurate answer, but I will do my best. I'm 24 years old. I have a dog and 2 cats, but one of my cats hates me, so I never talk about her. Rose,
That's why
you
she
never
never
see
talks
her.
about
She
it.
never comes out. She's like a little hermit crab. She like lives under the bed, but she's happy there. So
That's what matters.
great. My other cat's name is Minerva McGonagall. Yes, she has the glasses. That's why I named her Minerva. She is a very helpful cat. Yeah, she made sure that when I was pinning these ruffles to this skirt, they didn't move. Unless I said so. She was very angry with them if they did. It was bad. I collect piggy banks. 4 of my favorite piggy banks are sitting at my booth right now collecting donations for the Children's Hospital. So if you find some spare change, go ahead and drop by my table, drop it off. But it's still upside down.
Yeah, sorry.
It's all good. And then for those of you who
That's what he was trying to find, but
half of the proceeds for my prints also get donated to the Children's Hospital. I donate all of my scrap to a foundation that makes quilts for the homeless, so if you didn't know what to do with your scrap fabric, look into that. And oh, my dog's name is Boston, and he's like this big. He's a big dog.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm also like totally, like my dog is my best friend in the entire world, and I love him. And there's pictures of him in this panel somewhere. I am also, let's see, I can talk about myself more. I have 37 piggy banks total. Not a single one of them is a pink pig because I can't find one. And what else should I talk about?
In case someone's birthday I do.
Oh, yeah, my birthday is in April.
I came in late, but
But
you
really-
saying how long you've been doing doing this?
4 years. I've been a professional cosplayer for almost 4 years now. Yep,
So
I'm gonna-
define what makes it professional,
I make 100% of my income off of cosplay.
and how do you do that?
I do costume commissions for income. I also get paid by conventions to do guest appearances, usually in badges and food and travel and hotels, but that's another way for me. And then they give me a table space, and then I can make a little bit of income. I prefer to donate it to charity because my day job is as a hair and makeup artist, so I make quite a bit of money already. So I spend 11 hours a day sewing. I do 3 or 4 photo shoots a month, and I make 100% of my income off of costumes. If I don't make stuff or put makeup on people's faces, then I don't make money. I'm going to 18 conventions this year so far. Yep.
What got you started?
What got me started in cosplay in general,
Yeah,
or as
like-
a pro?
No, a cosplay, like that just
In
like
general. Okay, well, first, listen, way back in the day when I was a wee thing.
What?
I was 15 years old. I'm 24 now, so I've been doing this for almost 10 years. I was
Vertically
Is there a mirror option?
We can revert it back to upside down because that was at least the right direction.
oh God. I was 15 years old,
Yeah.
and I was invited by a friend
So
to my
what
first
happened
convention,
is
and I didn't know that you could go to a
marrying
con
itself
and
to
not
the
cosplay. I
projector
thought you had to
and trying
dress
to
up,
figure out how to
like I thought it
use
was a
it.
thing. It was expected. So my first cosplay was made out of a cut-up T-shirt. And I was an anime character, Ritsuka from Loveless, and I cut up a green T-shirt and I wore a turtleneck under it, and I tied
Yeah,
a
and
little
this
belt,
window
and I
won't go
was
away.
booked to Ritsuka, and I had
So-
like little cat ears that
That's
my
a
friend
really
made.
weird anime.
Right, it's a really weird anime,
But
but I
don't
really
think it
liked it when I was
actually
15.
flips it around.
oh 15.
And then
And so that was how I cosplayed for the first time.
So if you use
Everybody
the
was
built-in
like,
one,
"Oh
you
my
can't
god, I love you,
actually flip
Ritsuka,"
it.
and I was like, "It's kind of T-shirt."
but if you use the
So
projector,
I started doing more cosplay.
And then
My grandmother had been
can't
teaching me
flip
how to sew my entire life. I learned how to sew when I was 10
No,
years
it's just
old.
180.
My grandma made me
That's
sew
what I
clothes
thought.
for
I would
40
do
years
180,
before she taught me
but
anything else.
then it's
So
the other
my
way around.
craftsmanship is pretty dang nice. Thank you, Grandma.
Yeah, so I figured out how to actually get it to
And so
reverse
I
back.
already knew how to sew. I started sewing
And that's when I was
costumes
wondering
instead
if
of
you
could-
sewing,
It's on the
you
projector.
know,
It's
on the
sweaters and
projector,
stuff.
you
Yeah, I'm
think?
pretty sure it's on the
And
projector
I
because he
have not
flipped it
stopped.
on the projector because it was upside down.
Yeah, come on in. We can all
It's
crowd.
on the
It'll
other.
be great.
It's on the second. It's on
Okay,
the
here's
second
the
menu.
Did you get it yet?
It's not on that menu. It's on. There's like
Any other
another menu.
questions?
You tell me
Yeah.
when you
Oh,
see
wait.
it.
Go back. Back one.
I really can't see
Okay,
the
now
screen.
go up,
Right to left.
right to left.
And
Uh,
Yeah,
then
right to
down
left.
up.
No, right to left first. Right to left first. Right to left, then click. There we
Down and
go.
up. Oh my god, we're gonna do it. Do it.
Just go out now. Go out of it now. Go out of it now. It's the right way now. If you do upside down, it'll be upside down again.
Oh no, don't do that.
Yeah, just hit exit. Yeah, out. It's good. It's good. Hit exit.
I'm hitting exit.
Yeah!
Can we turn off the light, please?
Now you have to hit the slideshow button. It's up here.
It's not a smart board.
It's a connect.
Touch it.
Touch screen is up here. And it says slideshow. Slideshow. Whatever.
Pointing it at it. Okay, there you
It
go.
says,
Higher.
it says
The
slideshow.
word,
It's one of these.
slideshow. There you go.
And then full screen.
Yeah.
There we go. Enjoy.
Well, yeah, you came for me. We're gonna go ahead and turn the lights on again later, but I'm gonna go through this panel first, and then we're gonna talk about stuff. Hit space. Wayne, you're now in charge of being my spacebar monkey. Thank you.
I can probably do it easier.
This is me. My name is Kaai In Cosplay. I am a professional cosplayer. I do charity work at the hospitals. I do a lot of charity work. I have recently made the bridge into voice acting. Here's in the studio. I am a voice actor for a video game company now. I have been hired to make 2 games. They haven't dropped yet. And I wear lots and lots of costumes. Look, it's me in different costumes. I'm very excitable, very short, and very flail prone. Is anybody doubting of this?
Fail.
Okay. Oh yeah, and I'm a boy.
So you said.
Yeah, Kaai In Cosplay is my Facebook. Kaai In Cosplay is my Tumblr. Kaai In Cosplay is my Instagram. And yeah, spacebar. The table of contents. there are going to be things to avoid, things to do, and I've got game slides in here. So really quick, you guys, can you all say stuff? Say hi.
Hi.
You guys are pretty good at this. There are going to be slides. How many of you guys have ever watched Cartoon Network in the morning on Saturdays? And they have that Who's That Pokemon? It's going to be like that, but with characters. So if you recognize the character, shout it out. A few of these are meant to trick you.
Oh no.
Yeah, because I'm talking about things to avoid, things to do. Space Run. Things to avoid. Space Bar.
Boy.
First thing I'm going to talk about is foreshortening. Foreshortening is when you lose limbs, it makes you look wider. Generally, it's unflattering, but it is really beneficial when you want to get pictures of your makeup or your face or your wig. Shooting from an upward angle foreshortens. In many instances, you can lose costume elements, or you can literally like lose an entire limb. If you look here at my lovely doctor, he has no hand, he has a little tentacle up there. You guys see his little tentacle? It's a little tentacle.
You okay?
Yup. There's a pole here, it's black. And if you look at this little Darth Vader here, there's a floating something. It could be a hand, but it only looks like 4 fingers, and there's a lump on the back. It looks like a bird foot floating through the air. It's really flattering on makeup and wigs, like I said. But over here, he has foreshortened so much that he has only 1 arm. And I know that he has 2. I know this cosplayer, he has 2 arms. And then up here, leaning forward like this, if you aren't paying attention, we all got tummy rolls there. And when you lean forward like this, it makes your tummy rolls roll out. So again, foreshortening your body can make that. The way to fix foreshortening, everybody pay attention. This is a camera. I'm pointing at the camera, and no one will be able to see my limb. Now I'm going to point just below the camera. So if I point at you and then I lower my arm, can you see more?
Yeah.
Can you see the whole arm?
Yeah.
I have a whole arm. I'm gonna point at you. Can you see an arm?
Yes.
Yeah, right? So all you have to do is lower your limb just a little bit and you'll be able to see the whole thing. That solves all foreshortening problems. So, face mod. Blocking your cosplay. I don't know who that is because he covered his face with a sword. I don't know who this is because they're turned sideways. I can't see any element of this costume that could tell me which superhero that is. I think it's a Captain America, but I can't tell. I don't know who this is either. Can't see any of that costume. Look at that. Look at that. All that hard work is gone. That's the problem with blocking your cosplay. If you stand in such a way that you have hidden your costume, you've hidden your hard work, you have an unidentifiable character. I have a picture of somebody who did Ariel, and it took me 5 minutes to figure out that she was Ariel because she blocked the entire costume with a chair, and so all I could see was red hair. So make sure that you're being cautious about that. Don't pose like this. No one can tell. Like, I've got stars on here. Can you tell? Can you tell right now? No? Because I'm covering you. But it's much easier to cheat your shoulders. So if you are doing a side pose, you're going to turn your legs sideways, but not your torso. This gives you your shoulders, but it also gives you the ability to play with your legs and stuff like that, do whatever. But you get, cheat a little bit. Instead of going directly to the side, turn your shoulders just slightly. All of a sudden you can see more of the costume, but it doesn't look like you're turned, it doesn't look like you're standing like this. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, spacebar. Name it.
Catwoman. Some kind of kitty cat.
Ha! Spacebar.
Thor.
It's Femme Thor. Right?
Wow.
This is an unidentifiable pose. She's blocked most of her cosplay. You could hardly tell that she got a hammer. And when I first blocked it out, I was like, I hope somebody guesses Gimli. Yeah, nobody's ever guessed Gimli. But it's Femme Thor. And because of how she posed, you can't tell. It's if I block her out, you can't tell. Spacebar. Overextension. Look at this lovely broken ankle. Isn't that great? Look at this lovely arm. It's snapped in half right here. Everybody see that? Look over here. Legs don't bend like that. What the heck is happening? It's called overextension, and it makes it look like your limbs are broken. The way a camera lens works is that it reflects light and adds a little bit extra. So when you have your arms straight out like this, the light from the camera reflects and bends them a little bit further. You can solve foreshortening by overextending and then relaxing. And it doesn't look like I did much, right? That's the whole difference. But the light from the camera is gonna pick up that little bit of change from this to this, and it's going to make my arms not look broken. Same with your legs. The only time that broken legs are acceptable is when your cosplay is annoyingly cute, because they like it when you can't run away.
Oh.
So naughty. Spacebar! Not posing at all is a cardinal sin! They made great costumes and then they just stood in them. Look at that! They stood, look, they're just standing there. It's like my most unfavorite thing in the world is when you put all that hard work into a costume and somebody's like, can I have a picture? And you're like, yeah. Go ahead. And I'm like, my heart sinks and I'm like, work, your beautiful work. Oh man. And I just feel like if you're not posing, you're not having fun and I need to buy you a coffee or something.
Like his wife just found his super suits.
Right? And so he's like just walked out of the bathroom or something in his super suit. He's like, oh, what are you doing here? Like that's what I'm getting. It's not anything super exciting. I'm so mad. Spacebar. Things you should do. Let's talk about those. Those soothe my angry nerves. Spacebar! Knowing your character. Look at all of these amazing photos. Look at how great they are. Expression, defining poses, personality, quirks, and traits. Look at that face. She has no idea where she is. She's in New York and it's her first time and it's awesome. And then that Kim Possible has that hip hop down. You know? These guys, I love them. I love them. I always see them at conventions and they are masters of posing. I love it when you know your character and you know a pose. This kid, I talked to him and he knows martial arts. So he was doing a martial arts pose. And I was like, that's so cool! So knowing your character, knowing things about them, this is a pinup style Captain America. And I know my pinup poses. You know, I looked up my research and made sure that I know a few so I can, you know, I have my off face down.
Get your vowels out.
But you know, knowing your character, practicing a little bit, holding a picture and standing in front of a mirror and wiggling around a little bit until you get there is really helpful. Just a little bit of practice and you will feel so much better every time somebody asks you for a picture. Spacebar! Name it!
Sonic?
Gotta be an anime.
Yeah, it's from an anime.
I can tell by the hair.
3,
Yu-Gi-Oh!
2, 1,
Mikora!
Sakura?
L.
No.
Oh!
They did not pose like their character at all. Does L stand upright ever?
No. He's always like,
Exactly. So that's the other one that's meant to trip you up. So
Why is he straight?
exactly.
That was
L
not
He's not
hunches.
straight.
L hunches like this. Like this would be a good L pose. You can see all of my limbs, and I've got my hunched shoulders, and I'm still cheating out. This is an L pose. So, knowing your character. Big bar. Knowing your angles. This is so cool. I never would have thought of that. Well, you know, people are like, oh, point your weapon and stuff, and you're like, yeah, at the camera. Every time. Every time people are like, yeah, at the camera. But she was like, okay. Badass picture. This is a picture where my friend was 3 flights higher than me on the stairs. And he shot down through the stairs.
That's cool.
And it's a really cool picture. I really, really liked it. But it was an angle that I'd never thought of. And we're walking down the stairwell, and he's like, no, no, stop, stop. And he runs away, and I'm like, And then he's like, leans over and he's like, pose! And I'm like, what? And then he snaps that picture. that what face is exactly the moment. But these guys, knowing their ballet poses, they pose facing each other, you know, hands towards the middle, but they cheated their shoulders out, so they have 2 of them instead of 1. And we can see both of her limbs, you know, they knew their angles. So, space bar.
Princess Jasmine.
Bam! She knew her angle. She knew how to pose that hair. And because of that hair, you knew exactly who she was. I love this girl. She's great. Space bar. Practicing your poses. Practicing, like I said, it doesn't always take that long. These guys are a group, they knew their poses. People were like, can I have a picture? And they're like, yeah! And 3 of them like throw themselves on the floor. And then they end up like this. And you're like, what the hell? That's amazing. But they had to get together and practice throwing themselves around to get that picture for everyone. He is not blocking his face. He's got his claws up. I can still see parts of his costume that matter, and he's not blocking his face. He practiced that. I know he practiced that because any other, you know, I've met a bunch of Wolverines who are like, okay, and their claws are like here, and you're like, okay, well, I guess I didn't need to know who you were. If you are posing with other people, definitely practice. Talk about your poses. Hit them up on Messenger and be like, so I'm thinking that like if I kneel down and you stand up, it'll be really cool. And they'll be like, okay. Sometimes that's all it takes. So it works out really well. Yeah, that's it. And that's actually a really fun pose.
It must be hard to hold.
Oh, not really. After you practice a little bit, the way you hold out your arms makes it so that you can hold that pose for quite a while.
Don't fall over.
I won't. I'm okay. But I can hold it long enough to get a picture.
You got itty bitty feet.
I know. I wear a youth size 3. Press the button. Name it.
Master
Pikachu.
Yeah. Do you know how uncomfortable that pose is? Okay, ready? I gotta bend my knees, but I gotta point them out. And I'm gonna keep my back straight. I gotta put this hand back here. I gotta put this hand up here, but my fingers gotta be crooked. And I gotta have it turned just right.
You got it though.
Yeah, but it's something that you consciously have to think about. Which way are your knees pointing? How are your fingers being held? How are you going to hold your head? You know, it's 10 seconds of thinking about your body a little bit more and it'll make for better pictures. Phase 4! Poses! A guide! Really quickly though, I'm going to talk about genres. I break cosplays down into genres. Phase 4! This is, you can't see it up there. It says cute poses. Cute is the first genre. So there are very cute characters out there. And you can be a combination of these, but there's cute, there's sexy, and there's action. And that's about all it boils down to. And you can mix and match them as you need, but you are usually one of the 3, or a combination thereof. So cute poses. This one with the little pointy to the cheek is always cute. Cute, cute, look at my cute little smile, look at my little dimples. Pointy, pointy, cute, cute, cute. Bending your knees, the broken legs that I talked about. If you're doing a cute pose, turn on the lights. Okay. I know, sorry guys.
It burns.
If you're doing a cute pose, the best way to do it is to take your legs and turn your knees and bend them a little bit. And this is adorable, and I don't know why. But everybody do this, and people are like, oh my god, that's so cute! And you're like, I'm adorable! Kawaii! You know. So adorable poses include broken legs, but they are not limited to broken legs. Cute sitting poses all have to do with your knees being together. Because this is cute. This is cute. It's so cute. And then if you're cute and doing one of these, but this is more funny than anything else.
I'm cute.
With your hands, if you're doing cute, you put your hands on your hips, specifically. You always have all your fingers forward, because this is cuter than this. Cute. Less cute. Cute. Less cute. Look. Cute. This is less cute.
I'm learning.
Less cute. Cute.
Okay.
It's weird, and it feels really weird. It's really unnatural to have all of your fingers in the front, but it's cute.
Okay.
You can do little peace signs, but always keep them close to your face. You know, usually touching your face just a little bit. Don't poke your face, because then you get a weird mark, and you just look really weird. But if you just put your, rest your finger against your cheek, then that's usually about the right spot. Pace bar, lights off. Lights off, lights off. Sexy lady poses. It's always really funny. This is me out of cosplay, and I'm very much not a lady. So as you see, my lovely T and A pose has no T for the A. I'm wearing an overbust corset right now. There's actually nothing in here. But now I can show you. Sexy ladies are all about the tops and the bottoms. That's what we'll call them. And sexy ladies, you push out both, and it's really uncomfortable, and you have to get this really big bow in your back, but it looks great. Sexy ladies also frequently need walls, because if you turn on a light for me, run, Tyler,
That's
run!
scared.
I just want to use this clear space of wall. For sexy ladies, this is really sexy. It's really uncomfortable.
Kyla, you should practice with her.
So when you're doing this pose, you're resting your shoulders against the wall, putting your hands down, and then scooching your butt. And it's really uncomfortable, but it makes this really nice triangle here, and people seem to really like this one. And then it pushes your chest out more, so you're like, That's how sexy ladies pose. A frontal sexy lady is like, instead of the side angle would be the same thing. Same thing, but you curve your shoulders a little bit, and you cross one leg in front of the other. And this is sexy. Or something. But you can do that in a hallway with relative ease. Somebody goes, hey, can I get a picture of your sexy lady cosplay? And you're like, yeah. And they're like, oh yeah. Space bar lights.
Oh no.
Sexy man poses. I'm much better at sexy man poses. What are you laughing at? I didn't say a joke this time. These are sexy man poses. I'm much better at them. I have the right body for it, I guess. Lights. I like you.
You too.
For sexy men, they're very angsty. Like I haven't met a sexy man who's not full of angst and misery and stuff like that. And they also need walls because it's really easy to just. Oh, I'm so sexy. Oh, I'm so sexy. Right.
You need to go find that hux.
Hold that wall up. Your back muscles.
The whole weight of the world is on this wall. And it's just sexy men poses. Another way to do sexy men, firmly plant your feet shoulder width apart or a little bit wider. And this is like a mountain pose. You point your toes outwards because this is manlier and more attractive than this or this. Instead of straightforward, you point them out a little bit. And that gives you more of a plant and makes you look more masculine and planted and solidified and then there's always those glasses guys who are like, and the ones who are like, I always do glasses characters and they're always like, and everybody's like, I love it, and I'm like, thanks. But sexy man poses can also be one hand up, 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 up. The higher it is, well, okay, don't put it up here. But, instead of putting it on your hips, which gives you a really low figure, if you put it a little bit above your hips, but between your waist and your hips, that's more attractive. This is a power pose, is what it's called. And when you do a pose like this, you will actually feel kind of powerful. It's kind of nice. And this is what sexy men do. And the last category, lights and spacebar. Action poses! I do a lot of action characters. Not so much today, but this is one of my favorite poses. I can do that in Holly. It's like 1, 2, 3, and they only have a second. But if you count, they're like, oh yeah. They get so excited when you start counting. This one is a power pose. Again, you crook your arm back like this, and then instead of holding it straight back behind you, even though you're going to be going like this, you crook it out so that they can see that you have an arm. Point at the camera and then down. And this is a really good quick action pose. And it looks great on camera. No matter what kind of action hero your character is, everybody can do this. This is getting down on the ground. I'm about to fight. I just skidded to a stop in a fight. I'm so attractively angsty. Gonna fight people. These poses get really exciting. Sorry, I'm a little hyper now. And then I have a weapon here, and so learning how to pose with your weapon. I have it on my shoulder, but I got that cocky. Yeah, I'm ready to fight. You won't go? Let's do it. So, button. I think button. Yeah, now we get to do the pose off. Lights. Okay, I need 3 volunteers. 1, 2, 3. You guys are my guinea pigs. All right. So the way this works is I'm going to have them call out a category: sexy man, sexy lady, cute, or action. And you guys have to do one of those poses that I talked about. That relates to the category. Each of you will have a different category. Then at the end, based on their reaction, I'm going to pick which one of you is first, which one of you placed second, and which one of you placed third, but you all get a practice. Participation. All right, so what should the first category be? Cute. Cute. Do a cute pose.
He was expecting action. All fingers are forward. I must point out, all fingers are forward.
All right. What should the second category be? Action.
Nice.
Yeah, she got down there. I just skidded out of the fight. Got done. Yeah. You can do it, Donnie. Careful. Got it? Yeah. All right, what is the last category? Sexy lady. Sexy lady. All right.
What just happened? I made a decision.
That was the right.
All right. So now we're voting. How do you think Kyla did? How do you think Ray did? How do you think our cutie pie did? Wow, I think you placed first. You get a cosplay survival kit. It is a kit full of things that fixes stuff. I think you were in that.
Yes,
so
I
you
was.
get your own. It's
You know how
minus
to
one
use it.
bandana. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
For second place, you get my Lolita collection, which is 4 itty bitty prints of my face. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
And for last place, you get a picture of my Grind Award-winning Anastasia. She's so pretty. But you only get one.
On the ceiling. Wake up to it every morning.
And now you guys can reclaim your seats. And I'm going to enter the question portion of my evening. I am, again, on Facebook as Kaai In Cosplay, Tumblr as Kaai In Cosplay, Instagram as Kaai In Cosplay, and YouTube as Kaai In Cosplay. Does anybody have any questions about what I am on any of those sites? The answer is Kaai In Cosplay. And now at this point, I open up for questions. Any questions, any comments, anything you want to share with me. My favorite food is cheese fries. My favorite color is blue. And
What's your favorite cosplay so far?
See, I talked about this one last time. I did. How many of you guys saw the live action Cinderella? I did her ball gown. With a 5-layer organza skirt and Swarovski crystals sewn in. And I made all of my butterflies detachable. And I went to Denver Comic Con and I gave all of my butterflies to little kids. And I loved it. They were all like, "You're the real Cinderella." And I was like, "I am the real Cinderella." And they were like, "Where's the prince?" And I was like, "He's in the kingdom, of course. I just came on vacay."
He's just tied up in the bedroom.
I like that. But it was good. Question in the back.
What is love?
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. No. Yes.
What's the meaning of life?
Oh,
42.
evil.
Yes.
What's your biggest mistake?
Ooh.
Cosplay mistake.
Wow. There's actually a mistake in this dress that's very visible, but only to me. Right here, I accidentally cut a hole in it with my serger sewing machine. But I stitched it up and now nobody can see, like,
Well, now
you
we
can see
can.
the stitches.
Yeah.
But nobody ever notices. And I'm like, I cut a giant hole in this dress.
It goes with the ruff.
I know, that's why I was like.
Look at my roughs.
But I've also, I make
you
mistakes
ruffs.
all the time. I stop paying attention and I have sewn backs to fronts more than I can count. Like, I'll be like, I'm gonna stitch this hem, and I actually sewed like the entire neckline shut, and I'm like. So I always end up doing fun and weird and really stupid things. But I sew for, when I get started, I forget the rest of the world, and I usually end up doing an 11-hour stint. So I kind of lose my mind by the end of it, and I'm like, I hit that point where I'm like, I can't even figure out how a pin works. I don't know how this goes in fabric. I can't.
And you forget to eat, and it's
And
awful.
then my roommate actually, when he knows I'm sewing, he'll text me every 2 hours and remind me to get a drink. Because I won't.
Preset alarm.
I get really into it, and then I'm like, lose my mind entirely. So he'll text me and be like, "Don't forget, you have to live." And I'm like, "Oh, right."
Preset alarms in your phone.
I set alarms on my phone
And then sometimes
to
you
stop.
don't notice.
easy to hit snooze. It is. It really is.
For poses that are hard to do, like while looking at yourself in a mirror, how do you practice those?
If you go to Walmart, they have full-length mirrors for like $10. You can bring them to hotels and then, lean them against a wall or have a friend hold it up or lean it against the desk so that you can lean against a wall, and you can practice that way a lot. So bring your own mirror. Or if you practice with your friends and you're like, okay, so can you see all of my limbs? Okay, good. How do my feet look? Are they too close together? Are my knees too close together? Yeah, okay. And then your friends can help you out too. If you take, if you have your parents or your friends snap a quick picture on your phone and you post it on the internet and be like, I need honest feedback, what do you guys think about this pose? Then you're gonna get some feedback from your friends who are gonna give you tips and advice and stuff like that. So there are all kinds of options. Yes?
Webcams
What about them?
as your mirror.
That's true, you can definitely use webcams. I talk to my friends on Skype all the time, and I actually do all of my makeup tests through Skype with my friends, so they watch me put on my face from start to finish. Because you can't really see it, but that's my face normally without any makeup on it. It's a little boy face. I look like I'm 12. And then I put makeup on it and I look much better.
Yeah.
But,
13.
yeah, 13 instead.
She somehow got to 15 too.
Sometimes. Sometimes I can go to the PG-13 movies without my mom.
They
but
card you get into Deadpool.
they did.
I was gonna say, I think they did. Oh my god.
And every time I go into an alcohol store, a liquor store to get some wine, I have my ID in my hand the whole time.
Yeah.
Because I get asked at least 3 or 4 times. They're like, hey,
Is your mom here?
Where are your parents?
I hate that question. I'm like, actually, they don't live far, but we're not on speaking. Anybody else? Any questions at all? The cheese fries have to be like liberally smothered. It can't be just a little bit of cheese.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cheese makes everything
Do you
better.
prefer cosplay or crossplay?
I do both. I really don't care either way. I just tend to do characters that I like, or designs that I like, or pictures that I like, and my specialty happens to be sewing. So I made this dress in a day, but the ruffles took 3 weeks. I made my own ruffles. I'm crazy.
With ruffler or without?
I used my ruffling seam on my serger, but it's still 65 yards of fabric. Wow. That circles this petticoat twice.
Oh my god.
Terrible. But it looks great. It looks great. Yeah, it's terrible. Don't do it. Buy one. Not worth it. But yeah, I like crossplaying because people can never tell. There is actually a lotion named after me, and it's called It's a Trap. You can still buy it on the internet. It's terrible. I love it. But the soap maker who made it, he designed it after he flirted with me for 3 days, and then I was like, you know I'm a guy, right? He's like, what?
Perfect!
And then he made a soap for me. But I also like doing.
Speaking of movies, it's older than you are.
Right. I'm a big fan of doing whatever I enjoy. I feel like if people say cosplay shouldn't have a gender or a body type or a skin color or anything like that, I should do whatever the hell I want. So I want to be a pinup Captain America, and look at me, I'm fabulous. Any other questions? Yes.
What is your most bizarre or weird con experience?
For those of you
with her for 3
who want to hear more stories, I'm doing a panel tomorrow at 1 that's called Convention Horror Stories. And you should definitely show up because I've been to way too many cons and I have way too many good stories. So I'm going to give you some gists of the stories, but I'm not going to go into the details to encourage you to show up and listen to me tomorrow because I like to talk.
What time?
1 o'clock!
Okay.
Yeah. So there was the haunted hotel, and that was a fun one. There was the gas station in the middle of nowhere.
I think I know which one you're talking about. I've been there.
There was the convention where I accidentally saved 4 people's lives. And I'm not even exaggerating. I think I'm understating. I accidentally saved 4 people's lives. It's really weird. And then there is the... the time my friend stole my car and left me stranded for 3 days at the con. Yeah. And the police incident that followed.
Always put extra money.
Always have emergency money to get yourself home. Keep it separate from your wallet so you don't spend it.
Yeah. Ration out the money.
Yeah, make sure you can call someone. And then there was the creepy old guy. But there's always a creepy old guy story.
Yeah. I think we all have at least one.
But I think the most bizarre was the haunted hotel room, and it was actually really funny too. So you guys could come and hear all the fun horror stories, but I'll go ahead and tell this one now, and then you can just laugh at it more later. I went to South Dakota. I was a guest at SodacCon in Rapid City, and the only hotel in Rapid City is one of the most haunted hotels in the United States.
The Alex Johnson Hotel.
The Alex
I stayed
Johnson
there.
Hotel.
We were 2 rooms away from the haunted room.
That was my room! I was in the haunted room! I was in the haunted room. And
Did you choose to be in the
No,
haunted room?
no, I got a room as part of my package, as part of the pay, and so we're in the room, and the only time I found out it was haunted was because here I am brushing my teeth, getting ready for bed, and you hear, and this is the room where you can see a full body apparition at times, and I'm like, you can see a what? Toothpaste flow running down my face, and I'm like, you can what?
I thought you were the apparition.
And so my roommate, my roommate is also my assistant, and he's my best friend too, Dylan. Dylan was like, we should watch a haunted movie now. We should watch a scary movie. And I was like, I will punch you. I will punch you so hard. No. And it turns out that there was knocking on the doors for like several hours.
We were actually in the hotel last year, and we had somebody that kept knocking on our door.
But every time you opened it, nobody was there.
But we were like 2 doors down from the room that she stayed in, and like we would hear knocking on the door outside.
That's ridiculous.
And nobody would be there when you
jumped off
opened
the
it.
side of the
So that was
building,
really
like,
freaky.
3 years ago.
But this story is not actually about that. This story is about after we watched this scary movie, we decided to go to bed so that we could get ready for the next day. And so we're sleeping, and I have this terrible quality. I can do full-scale impressions in my sleep. And I can't do them when I'm awake, so it's really weird. But like I talk in my sleep, and I've done everything from I did Gollum one night, and one of my friends got really mad because in the middle of
It's the demons.
and they're just like, what the? But apparently, I started singing some creepy nursery rhyme or something in my sleep. So my roommate was freaking out, and then he realized it was me, and he just slugged me really hard, right in the chest, right here. And I wake up and I'm like, ow! What are you doing? And he's like, it's the ghost. And I was like, ow! There's a ghost and he punched me, ow! And I can't even process anything. I'm like, you hit me! Ah! And he's like, the ghost is here! The ghost is here! And I was like, where's the ghost? Ow! And it turns out that he realized it was me, and we go back to sleep, and I just remember I was like furious. I was like, punch me! I never let him live it down. I punched him again later. It's fine. Yes.
So, let me get this straight. So you got the room and food and everything from the convention people. Do you think they might have given you that room on purpose?
Because no one else wanted it.
Did that never happen? Usually they charge more for those rooms.
Right? They do charge more for those rooms. And it was actually, it was a really nice room. Like, it was a really nice room. I'm just, man, there was a ghost in it. No, my roommate punched me.
He punched the ghost out of you.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Talking, it's the demons in you.
It was terrible. It was really funny, but the next night I rolled over in my sleep and I punched him right in the eye. I was still asleep. I woke up enough to go, ow! You hurt my fist! And I go right back to sleep. And he's like, because I just punched it in the face. And I was like, ow! So yeah, and that's not even the best of my horror stories, so you should definitely show up tomorrow. Any other questions? Anything? Come on. I'm sure you got questions out there.
So on average, how long does a setup, a cosplay, cost? How long does it take to build, and how long does it take you to get into it?
Awesome questions.
I just want to make sure I'm not taking too long.
Oh yeah, no, it's fine. I've been sewing for 15 years, almost 16 now, and that amount of experience makes you a little bit faster. So this entire dress took me 1 day to do, but it was a relatively simple design. It usually takes me about 3 hours to cut things out, and maybe 1 or 2 to sew them together. After I've got them cut out, I've spent $30 on this dress itself, and I spent $6 on the fabric. It's the cheapest fabric that I could find at the discount section of Colorado Fabrics. But I usually go to Colorado Fabrics, which is down in Inglewood, and they have the biggest discount section ever. And so if you can't find something in the discount section, it's usually like $7 or $8 a yard. But if you can find things in the discount section, it's like $3 a yarn. So I can make an entire cosplay. I can make an entire gown for like $50 at the most. Depending on the materials you want, I'm making a Rococo-inspired Belle ball gown on commission. And it's almost $2,000 because it's Dupont silk from head to toe with chiffon overlays. And I am hand gathering 18 panels on the skirt to get that ruched effect. And it's gorgeous, but it's, you know, it's also taking me 3 times as long as everything else because of all the attention to detail. So my competition pieces, my high-end pieces, usually take me several months. I've been working on my competition piece since December, and I'm nowhere near finished. And it's debuting in a month. It's great. But I'm making my props out of fiberglass and stuff like that, and so it takes me forever, and it takes a lot of tools and a lot of time, and the more time and effort you put into it, the better it looks. So, anything. $30.
Do you like bacon on your cheese fries?
I'm allergic. Oh, that's really cool. I am
allergic.
I'm definitely allergic to mammal meat. Just like there's a protein in milk that people are allergic to called lactose. I'm allergic to a protein that is only produced in the muscle tissue
So you're
of
allergic
mammals.
to yourself?
I am.
Oh my god!
If I made myself, I go into anaphylactic shock.
Oh my god.
But I'm definitely allergic to the protein galactose alpha 3, which sounds more like a space invader than anything else. But yeah, I can't eat bacon, and I can't eat beef, and I can't eat dolphins or platypi, and I can't eat people, so you're safe.
What about snakes?
Okay, Hannah.
I can eat snakes, they're reptiles, they're not mammals. And I can eat chicken and turkey and duck and pheasant and...
They have alligator at Bass Pro Shops.
I went to the Renaissance Festival and had ostrich jerky and crocodile jerky, and they were freaking weird. They were good, but they were freaking weird. So yeah, I'm allergic to
I'm sorry.
I don't mind. When I developed the allergy, it was when I was hitting puberty, around like 11 or 12, and it started tasting funny before anything else. So I, thought it was really gross for a long time, and then the doctors realized that I had a very severe allergy.
Is that why you're so tiny?
I probably contribute a little bit. I had a really hard time managing my diet when I was younger, because I have to get 100% of my iron from broccoli and kale, and spinach, and I have to get 100% of my protein from eggs and meat and fish, chicken and fish. And there's not nearly as much iron or protein in those vegetables, so it's really hard for me to maintain all those levels. And I do a lot of protein shakes and iron tablets and stuff like that. It's a pain in the butt. I highly recommend avoiding this allergy.
I didn't know that was an allergy, actually.
I'm allergic to Twinkies because beef fat is in the ingredients for Twinkies. I'm allergic to Twinkies.
But pig fat's in the ingredient for makeup. So does it?
No, because I'm not eating it.
Oh.
If I put it in my mouth, I'll...
Well, because I know some
Go
people
into
have
anaphylactic
such a
shock.
bad allergy that touching it or being in the same room causes
If I
an
get,
reaction.
if I drip roast beef juice on my arm, I'll break out. But it's it has to be a pretty goodly amount to actually cause the rashes and stuff, which is super delicious to talk about. Sorry, guys.
This is interesting.
Yeah, nobody's ever met, I'm the only person I've ever met with my allergy. And
There's no support group.
there's no...
I've met someone like that because her mom is a vegan.
Yeah, and then if they've never eaten the meat, they never develop the protein, so they can't digest it. But that's completely different from actually being allergic to it. I have the ability to break it down, but it will kill me if I try. Which is great. Anything else? Have fun! I'll sign your print later. You can come get my John Hancock. What? Have you ever
Stop
heard
talking
that?
about your cock.
John Hancock was the first person to sign the Declaration of Independence. And so a
So
signature
the King of
is
England could
referred
read
to-
without his spectacles.
So the first signature was called, he said, well, I'll just go ahead and put my John Hancock down here, and then he wrote his name. And so now it is commonly referred to in some circles, a signature or an autograph as a John Hancock. Yeah.
You
It's
seriously
weird.
didn't know that?
Alright.
Oh my god.
You always learn new stuff.
That's true.
I never heard that term. I knew you signed it. I never heard that term.
Anybody else? Running out of chances.
Wasn't that Will Smith's character though?
Yes.
Hancock.
I thought it was Hitchcock.
No, Hancock.
Oh,
Because
Him
it
too.
was Hancock.
oh yeah, the superhero one.
Yeah,
That's
the
what
good. The nurse said, put your John Hancock, so he wrote John Hancock.
I like it. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Please stop by